In olden times, in a bloody time, there ruled in a Caucasian city, men called it City of the Damned, a governor. His name was Georgi Abashvili. He was rich as Croesus, he had a beautiful wife, he had a healthy baby. No other governor in Gusinia had so many horses in his stable, so many soldiers in his service, so many petitioners in his courtyard. Georgi Abashvili, how shall I describe him to you?
He enjoyed his life.
On the morning of Easter Sunday, the governor and his family went to church.
For the first time on that Easter Sunday, the people saw the governor's heir. 2 doctors never moved from the noble child, apple of the governor's eye. Even the mighty Prince Kazbeki bows before him at the church door.
Happy Easter, Natella Abashvili, what a day! Last night when it was raining, I thought to myself, gloomy holidays. But this morning the sky was gay. I love a gay sky. A simple heart, Natella Abashvili. And little Michael is looking at governor from head to foot.
What do you think, Arson? Georgie has finally decided to start building the East Wing. He's going to tear down all those slums to make room for the gardens.
Good news after so much bad. And what's the latest on the war, Brother Georgie? Strategical retreat, I hear. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't. Such is war. Doesn't mean a thing, does it?
Let's go into the church.
Your Excellency, won't we hear the messenger from the capital? He arrived with confidential papers.
Not until after service, Shalva. But did you hear? Brother Kazbeki wished me a happy Easter. Now that's all very well, but I don't believe it did rain last night.
We must investigate tomorrow.
Yes, at once. Tomorrow.
The city is still. Pigeons strut in the church square. A soldier of the palace guard is joking with the kitchen maid as she comes up from the river with the bundle.
What, the young lady's not in church? Shirking?
I was dressed to go, but they need another goose for the banquet, and they asked me to get it. I know about geese.
A goose? I'd like to see that goose. One must be on one's guard with women. I only went for a fish, they tell you, but it turns out to be something else.
There's a 15-pound goose stuffed full of corn. I'll eat the feathers.
The queen of the goose. The governor himself will eat it. So, the young lady has been down by the river again?
Yes, at the poultry farm.
Really? At the poultry farm, not higher up maybe, near those willows?
I only go to the willows to wash the linen.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly that.
Why shouldn't I wash the linen by the willows?
Why shouldn't I wash? That's good. That's really good.
Don't understand the soldier. What's so good about it?
If something I know someone learns, she'll grow hot and cold by turns.
I don't know what I could learn from those willows.
Not even if there was a bush opposite that one could see everything from? Everything that goes on there when a certain person is washing linen?
What does go on? Will the soldier say what he means and have done?
Something goes on there. Something can be seen.
Could the soldier mean I dip my toes in the water when it's hot? There's nothing else.
There's more. Your toes and a little more.
More what? At most my foot.
Your foot and a little more.
Simon Shoshava, you have to be ashamed of yourself. To sit in a bush on a hot day and wait till a girl comes along to dip her legs in the river. I bet you bring a friend along too.
I didn't bring any friend along.
The city is still, but why are there armed men? The governor's palace is at peace, but why is it a fortress? And the governor returned to his palace, and the fortress was a trap. And the goose was plucked and roasted, but the goose was not eaten this time. And noon was no longer the hour to eat. Noon was the hour to die.
It is impossible to live near those wretched slums, but Georgie will only build for his little Michael. Never for me. Michael is all for Michael.
The governor does not wish to receive military news before dinner, especially if it is depressing, as I assume. In the afternoon, His Excellency will confer with prominent architects. They are coming to dinner too. Here they are. Go to the kitchen and eat, my friend. Gentlemen, welcome. His Excellency expects you, and he will devote all his time to you and your great new plans. Come.
We marvel that His Excellency intends to build. There have been disquieting rumors that the war in Persia has taken a turn for the worse.
All the more reason to build. There's nothing to those rumors anyway. Persia is a long way off, and the garrison here would let itself be hacked to bits for its governor. What's this? Put that down, you dog!
It's the princes. Don't you know the princes met last night in the capital, and they're against the Grand Duke and his governors? Gentlemen, we'd better make ourselves scarce.
Oh, why isn't great. They go their way like gods, great over bent back, sure of hired fist, trusting in a power that has lasted so long, but the long is not forever.
From your palace, the eyes of many foes follow you, and now you won't be needing an architect. A carpenter will do. You won't be moving into a new palace, but into a little hole in the ground.
Look about you once more, blind man. Does all you had please you?
Between the Easter Mass and the Easter meal, you are walking to a place whence no one returns.
When the house of a great one collapses, many little ones are slain.
Those who had no share in the good fortunes of the mighty often have a share in their misfortunes.
The plunging wagon drags the sweating oxen down with it into the abyss.
The baskets break them all the third courtyard.
Food for 5 days. We won't have to bloodshed already in the city, they say. Oh, God, the state someone needs to carry her down.
Oh, whose turn is it to take care of the child today, Nico Mikadze? Yours or mine? Do you really think, Nico Ladze, that I'm going to stay another minute in this accursed house on that little brat's account? You neglect your duty! Go to hell!
Grusha, let me weren't last. What are you going to do?
Nothing. Worst comes to worst, I have a brother in the mountains. How about you?
Forget about me. Grusha Vishnazi, your wish to know my plans fills me with satisfaction. I have been ordered to accompany Madame Abishvili as her guard.
Hasn't the palace guard mutinied?
That's a fact.
Isn't it dangerous to go with her?
In Tiflis, they say, isn't the stabbing dangerous for the knight?
You're not a knight, you're a man, Simon Chishaba. What's that woman to do with
That
you?
has nothing to do with me. I have my orders and I go.
The soldier is pig-headed. He's running into danger for nothing, nothing at all. I must get him to the third courtyard. I'm in a hurry.
Since we're both in a hurry, you mustn't quarrel. You need time for a good quarrel. May I ask if the young lady still has parents?
No, just a brother.
As time is short, my second question is this. Is the young lady as healthy as a fish in water?
He has pain in the right shoulder once in a while. Otherwise, I'm healthy enough for my job. No one has complained so far.
That's well known. When Easter comes and the question arises of who will run for the goose, all the same, she'll be the one. My third question is this. Is the young lady impatient? Does she want apples in winter?
Impatient, no. But if a man goes to war without any reason, and then no message comes, that's bad.
A message will come, and my final question...
Simon Chishaba, I have to get into the third courtyard. My answer is yes.
Haste, as they say, is the wind that blows down the scaffolding. But they also say the rich don't know what haste is. I'm from...
Yes.
Oh, the young lady's been inquiring about me. I'm healthy, I have no dependents, I make 10 piastres a month as paymaster 20 piastres, and I'm asking very sincerely for your hand.
Simon Chishaba, it suits me well.
My mother gave me this cross, Grusha Vishnazi. The chain is silver. Please wear it.
Many thanks, Simon.
It would be best to go to the third courtyard now, or else there'll be difficulties. I must harness the horses now. I trust the young lady will understand.
Yes, Simon.
I'll just take the mistress of the troops and remain loyal, and when the war's over, I'll be back in 2 weeks or 3. I hope my intendant won't get tired of waiting my return.
Simon Chishaba, I shall wait for you. Go calmly into battle, soldier. The bitter battle, the bloody battle, from which not everyone returns. When you return, I shall be there. I shall wait till the last soldier has returned. No boots will stand at my door, the pillow beside mine will be empty, and my mouth will be unkissed. When you return, you'll be able to say, it is just as it was.
I thank you, Grusha Vishnazi, and...
Harness the horses to the carriage! Don't stand there and do nothing, scum!
I hardly know if my head is still on. Where's Michael? Don't hold him so clumsily. Quick, put these trunks into the carriage. No news from the city, Shalva?
None. All's quiet so far, but there is not a moment to lose. No room for these trunks in the carriage. Pick out what you need.
The essentials. Quick, open the trunks and I'll tell you what I need. Quick! That green one, and the one with the fur trimming, of course. Don't tear the sleeves!
Pardon, madam, but no harm has come to the sleeves.
Only because I've stopped you. I've been watching you recently. Nothing in your head but making eyes at Shalva Sertelli.
Now tell Amash, really, please make haste. Firing has broken out in the city.
They won't lay a hand on us, will they? No, why should they? How's Michael? Asleep?
Yes, madam.
Then place him down there and go and fetch my little saffron-colored boots from the other room. I need it to wear with my green dress. Just look at the way these things have been folded! No love, no understanding! Don't give them every order yourself. It's at such time one realizes what kind of servants they have. They gorge themselves at your expense and not a shred of gratitude. I will remember this!
Natella, please hurry! We must leave at once.
But why? I need my silver dress. It cost 1,000 piastres. Oh, and that one there, and the wine-colored one.
We must leave at once. Riots have broken out. Where is the baby?
Tomorrow! Get the baby ready! We're in our you?
We'll probably have to leave the carriage behind and go ahead on horseback.
I simply can't find my wine-colored one. Quick, just take this all to the carriage. Where's Ozma? And why hasn't Mara returned with the baby? Have you all gone crazy?
Quick!
Front, just take this all to the carriage.
We are not taking the carriage, and if you don't come now, I'll ride up on my own.
Where's that bitch, Ozia? Where is Mara? Go and call Masha. No. First take his dresses to the carriage. Such nonsense. I would never dream of leaving on horseback.
Madam! I left it behind the beasts. Hold it a moment.
So they've actually gone? Not a minute too early. It's time for us to clear out.
What have they done with the governor?
Calm down, Nina. He'll be taken to safety. You've never heard a fly.
Nina takes it more to heart than the mistress, that's a fact.
Come on.
They even have to have their weeping done for them.
It's time to clear out. Come on.
Oh, that must be the escape bird! The baby, what are you doing with it?
It got left behind.
She just left it here? Michael, who was kept out of all the drafts.
He's waking up.
Better put him down, I tell you. I'd rather not think of what had happened to anyone who was found with that baby.
That's right. Once they come by, they'll kill us all. Whole families at a time. It's time for us to go.
The nurse has to get a hold of him a moment.
She's not coming back, you simpleton. Just keep your hands off him. Grusha, you're a good girl, but you're not very bright and you know it. I tell you, if he had the plague, he couldn't be more dangerous.
He hasn't got the plague. He looks at me.
Don't look at him. You're a fool, the kind that always gets put upon. A person you'd only say, run for the salad, you have the longest legs, and you run. My husband has an ox cart. You can come with us if you hurry. Lord, by now the whole neighborhood must be in flames.
Coming!
As she was standing between courtyard and gate, she thought she heard a low voice calling.
The child called to her, not whining, but calling quite sensibly.
Woman!
So it seemed to her.
Woman, it said, help me. And it went on, not whining, but saying quite sensibly, no, woman. He who hears not the cry for help, or passes by with troubled ears, will never hear the gentle call of a lover, nor the blackbird at dawn, or the happy sigh of the tired grape picker as the angelus rings.
Hearing this, she went back for one more look at the child.
Just to look, sit with him for a moment or two.
Only till someone should come.
His mother, or anyone.
Only till she would have to leave, for the danger was too great. The city was full of flames and crying.
Fearful is the seductive power of goodness.
And she sat with the child a long time, till evening came, till night came, till morning came.
She sat too long. Too long, she saw.
The soft breathing, the small clenched fists, till towards morning the seduction was complete.
And she rose and bent down, and sighing took the child and carried it away.
As if it was stolen goods, she picked it up. As if she was a thief, she crept away.
Grusha Vashnazi left the city on the Ursinian highway, on the way to the northern mountains. She sang a song. She bought some milk.
Noontime is mealtime. Now we'll sit hopefully in the grass while the good Grusha goes and buys a little pitcher of milk. Grandfather, could I have a little pitcher of milk and a corn cake, maybe?
Milk? We have no milk. The soldiers from the city have our goats. Go to the soldiers if you want milk.
But grandfather, you must have a little pitcher of milk for a baby.
And for a God bless you, eh?
Who said anything about a God bless you? We'll pay like princes, head in the clouds, backside in the water. How much for the milk?
3 piastres. Milk has gone up.
3 piastres for that little drop. Michael, we can't afford it. 3 piastres. Oh, open up, grandfather, we'll pay. May lightning strike you. I thought it would be half a piastre, but the baby must be fed. How about 1 piastre for that little drop?
2.
Don't shut the door again. Here are 2 piastres. The milk better be good. I still have 2 days' journey ahead of me. It's a murderous business you've got here, and sinful too.
Kill the soldiers if you want milk.
This is an expensive joke. Take a sip, Michael. It's a week's pay. Around here, they think we earned our money just sitting on our behinds. Michael, you're a nice little load for a girl to take on.
As Grusha Vashnazi went northward, the prince's iron shirts went after her.
How will the barefoot girl escape the iron shirts, the bloodhounds, the trap setters?
They hunt even by night.
Pursuers never tire.
Butchers sleep little.
You'll never amount to anything, blockhead. Your heart's not in it. Your superior officer sees this in the little things. You know, yesterday, when I made the fat girl, yes, You grabbed your husband as I commanded, and yes, you kicked him in the stomach at my request. But did you enjoy it? Like a loyal private? Or were you just doing your duty? I've kept my eye on you, blockhead. You're a tinkling cymbal in a hollow reed. You won't be promoted. And don't forget about your insubordination. Stop limping. I command you to stop limping. You limp because I sold the horses, and I sold the horses because I'd never have gotten that price again. You limp to show you don't like marching. It won't work. I know you. You wait. Sing!
Sadly to war I went my way, leaving my loved one at her door. My friend will keep her honor safe till from the war I'm back once more. Louder! Beneath the headstone I shall be, my love a little earth will bring. Here rest the arm that oft would run to me, and here the arms that oft to me would cling.
You know, a good soldier has his heart and soul in it. And when he receives a command from his superior officer, he gets a hard-on! And when he drives his lance into his enemy's guts, he comes! He lets himself be torn apart for his superior officer, and as he lies dying, he looks up to see his corporal's nod of approval, and that is reward enough. It's his dearest wish. You won't get my nod of approval. You'll croak all right. Christ. How am I supposed to find the governor's bastard with the help of a fool like you?
When Grisham Ashnazi came to the River Sierra, flight grew too much for her, the helpless child too heavy.
In the cornfield, the rosy dawn was cold to the sleepless one, only cold.
The gay clatter of the milk cans in the farmyard where the smoke rises is only a threat to the fugitive.
She who carries the child feels its weight and little more. Now you've wet yourself again, and you know I've no linen. Michael, this is where we part company. It's far enough from the city. They wouldn't want you so much that they'd follow you all the way out here. Little good for nothing. The peasant woman is kind, and can't you just smell the milk? So, farewell, Michael. I'll forget how you kicked me in the back to make me walk faster all night. And you can forget the meager fare. It was meant well. I'd like to have kept you. Your nose is so tiny. But it can't be. I've shown you your first rabbit. I'd have trained you to keep dry, but now I must go back. My sweetheart, the soldier, might return. And suppose I wasn't there to meet him. You can't ask that. Good heavens, what's this? Husband?
What is it? Let me finish my soup.
Where's your mother then? Haven't you got one? It's a boy. Fine linen. And they just leave him on our doorstep. Oh, these are times.
If they think we're going to take care of it, they're wrong. We can give it to the priest. That's the best we can do.
What'll the priest do with him? He needs a mother. Look, he's waking up. Don't you think we could keep him, though?
No.
I could lay him by the armchair. All I need is a crib. We have a roof over our heads, and I could take him into the fields with me. We can do it, husband. Not another word out of you.
Why so cheerful, making for home? Because I'm rid of the little one, I'm cheerful.
And why so sad?
Because I'm single and free, I'm sad. Like someone who's been robbed, someone who's newly poor.
Lady, you are running into the arms of the armed forces. Where are you coming from, and when? Are you having illicit relations with the enemy? Where is he? What movements is he making in your rear? How about the hills? How about the valleys? How are your stockings held in position? Oh, don't be scared. We always withdraw if necessary. What, blockhead? I always withdraw if necessary. In that respect, at least I can be relied on. Lady, where are you headed?
To meet my intended, one Simon Shishava of the Palace Guard at Nuka.
Oh, Simon Shishava, I know him. He gave me the key to look you up once in a while. Oh, lady, behind apparent frivolity, I conceal a serious nature. I must tell you plainly, I want a child from you. Oh, she understands. Sweet shot. We're looking for a child from a good family. Have you seen such a child dressed in fine linen showing up from the city here suddenly?
No, I haven't heard a thing. Run, kind girl, the killers are coming!
Help the helpless babe, helpless girl, and so she runs. In the bloodiest times, there are kind people.
Hurry, quick! The iron shirts are coming. I laid him on your doorstep, but he isn't mine. He's from a good family.
Who's coming? What iron shirts?
Don't ask questions. The iron shirts that are looking for it.
Well, they have no business in my house, but I must have a little talk with you, it seems.
Take off the fine linen. It'll give us away.
Linen my foot. In this house, I make the decisions. You can't vomit in my room. Why'd you abandon it? It's a sin.
Look, they're coming out from behind those trees. I shouldn't have run away. I made them angry. What shall I do?
Gracious iron shirts.
They're after the baby.
Suppose they come in.
You mustn't give him to them. Say he's yours.
Yes.
If you hand him over, they'll run him through.
But suppose they ask for it. The silver for the harvest is in the house.
If you give him to them, they will run him through. Right here in this room, you must say he's yours.
Yes, but what if they don't believe
You
me?
must be firm.
They'll burn the roof over our heads.
That's why you must say he's yours. His name's Michael, but I shouldn't have told you that. Don't nod like that, and don't tremble. They'll notice.
Yes.
And stop saying yes. I can't stand it. Don't you have any children?
He's in the war.
Then maybe he's an iron shirt. Do you want him to run children through with a lance? You brought him out. No fooling with lances in my house, you'd say. Is that what I've reared you for? Wash your neck before you speak to your mother.
That's true. He couldn't get away with anything around here.
So you'll say he's yours?
Yes.
Look, they're coming.
Oh, look, there she is. What'd I tell you? What a nose I have. I smelt her. Lady, I have a question for you. Why'd you run away?
Soldier, I didn't know a thing about it. Please don't burn the roof over our heads.
What are you talking about?
I had nothing to do with it. She left it on my doorstep, I swear it.
Oh, so there's something in the crib. Oh, blockhead, I smell 1,000 piastres. Take the old girl outside and hold on to her. It looks like I have some cross-examining to do. So, you've got the child I wanted from you.
Officer, he's mine. He's not the one you're looking for.
I'll have a look all the same.
He's mine. He's mine.
Fine linen.
And in her flight from the iron shirts.
After 22 days of journeying.
At the foot of the Jangatau Pass, Kershavash decided to adopt the child.
Since no one else will take you, son, I must take you. Since no one else will take you, son, you must take me. A black day in a lean, lean year. The trip was long, the milk was dear. My legs are tired, my feet are sore. But I wouldn't be without you anymore. I'll throw your silken shirt away and wrap you in rags and tatters. I'll wash you, son, and christen you in glacier water. We'll see it through together.
When Grushavashnadze, pursued by the Iron Shirts, came to the bridge on the glacier,
Leading to the villages on the eastern slope, she sang the song of the rotten bridge and risked 2 lives.
Take your time, young woman. You won't get across here anyway.
But I have to get the baby to the other side, to my brother's place.
Have to? What do you mean you have to? I have to get to the other side to buy carpets from Adam. Buy carpets from a woman who left to sell them because her husband died. But can I get what I want? Can she? Andre's been fishing for this rope for hours, and I ask you, how will we fasten it even if you do get it up?
I think I hear something.
The bridge isn't quite rutted through. I think I'll try it.
I wouldn't try it even if the devil were after me. It's suicide.
Hi!
Don't shout! Tell him not to shout!
But there's someone down there calling. Maybe they've lost their way.
Why shouldn't he shout? Is there something funny about you? Are they after you?
All right, I'll tell. The Iron Shirts are after me. I knocked one of them down.
Hide our merchandise.
Why didn't you say so right away? If they catch her, they'll make mincemeat out of her.
Get out of my way. I gotta cross that bridge.
You can't. The precipice is 2,000 feet deep.
Even with the rope, it'd be no use. We could hold it up with our hands, but then we'd have to do the same for the iron shirts.
Go away.
They're coming nearer. There's no way you can cross that bridge with the child. It'll break. And look!
2,000 feet.
But those men are worse.
You can't do it. Think of the baby. Risk your life, but not a child.
With the child, she's that much heavier.
Maybe she's really got to get across. Give me the child. I'll hide while you cross alone.
No, I won't. We belong together. Live together, die together. Get out of my way. I'll try it without the rope.
You're tempting God.
Please, throw that stick away. Otherwise, they'll get the rope and come after me.
She made it.
I still think it's a sin.
Have you seen a woman with a child?
Yes, there, but the bridge won't carry you.
You'll pay for this blockhand!
You mustn't be afraid of the wind. He's a poor thing, too. He has to push the clouds along, and it gets quite cold doing it. And the snow isn't so bad either, Michael. It covers the little fir trees, so they won't die in winter. 7 days the sister, Grusha Vashnadze, journeyed across the glacier, and down the slope she journeyed.
When I enter my brother's house, she thought, he will rise and embrace me.
Is that you, sister, he will say. I have long expected you. This is my farm, come to me by marriage, with 11 horses and 31 cows. Sit down. Sit down with your child at our table and eat.
The brother's house was in a lovely valley. When the sister came to the brother, she was ill from walking. The brother rose from the table.
Where have you come from, Grusha?
Across the Jenga Tau Pass, Laurenti, I found her in front of the hay barn. She has a baby with her.
Go and groom the mayor.
This is my wife, Aniko.
I thought you were in service in Nuka.
I was.
Wasn't it a good job? We were told it was.
The governor got killed.
Yes, we heard there were riots. Your aunt told us. Remember, Aniko?
Here with us, it's very quiet. City people always want something going on. So, don't take the cake out of the event yet, do you hear?
Is there a father? I thought, we must think up something. She's religious.
Those servants. You have a child.
It's mine.
Good heavens, she's ill.
I think
What are we going to do?
I think it's just weakness, Aniko.
As long as it's not scarlet fever.
She'd have spots if it was. I think it's just weakness. Better sitting down?
Is the child hers?
It's mine.
She's on her way to her husband.
I see. Your food's getting cold. Cold food's not good for you. The fat mustn't get cold. You know your stomach's your weak spot. Your husband's not in the city. Where is he?
She got married on the other side of the mountain, she says.
On the other side of the mountain, I see.
I think I should lie down somewhere at Laurenti.
If it's consumption, we'll all get it. Has your husband got a farm?
He's a soldier.
But he's coming into a farm. A small one from his father.
Isn't he in the war? Why not?
Yes, he's in the war.
Then why do you want to go to the farm?
When he comes back from the war, he'll return to his farm.
But you're going there now?
Yes, to wait for him.
So, the cake!
Soldier, waiting.
It's scarlet fever.
Yes, he's got a farm.
I think it's just weakness, Aniko. Would you look after the cake yourself, dear?
When will he come back if war has broken out again, as people say? Oh, so, where on earth are you?
You'll get a bed in a minute. But wait till after supper. She has a good heart.
Take him.
But you can't stay here long with the child. She's religious, you see.
The sister was so ill, the cowardly brother had to give her shelter.
Summer departed, winter came.
Winter was long.
Winter was short.
People mustn't know anything.
Rats mustn't bite.
Spring mustn't come.
Michael, we must be clever. We make ourselves as small as cockroaches, and the sister-in-law will forget we're in the house. And we can stay till the snow melts.
Why are you sitting there muffled up like coachmen, you two? Is it too cold in the room?
It's not too cold, Renty.
If it's too cold, you shouldn't be sitting there with the child. Aniko would never forgive herself. I hope the priest didn't question you about the child.
He did, but I didn't tell him anything.
That's good. I wanted to talk to you about Aniko. She has a good heart, but she's very, very sensitive. People need only mention our farm and she's worried. She takes everything hard, you see. One time, our maid went to church with a hole in her stocking. Ever since, Aniko's worn 2 pairs of stockings in church. It's the old family in there. Are you sure there aren't rats running around? If there are rats, you couldn't live here. What's that, dripping?
It must be a barrel leaking.
Yes, it must be a barrel. You've been here 6 months, haven't you? Was I talking about Aniko? You can't imagine how worried she gets about your soldier husband. Suppose he comes back and can't find her, she says, and lies awake. Can't come back before the spring, I tell her. Dear woman, when do you think he'll come back? What do you think? Not before the spring, you agree? You don't believe he'll come at all? But when spring comes and the snow melts here and on the passes, you can't stay on. They may come and look for you. There's already talk of an illegitimate child. Grusha, the snow is melting on the roof. Spring is here.
Yes.
I'll tell you what we'll do. You need a place to go. Because of the child, you have to have a husband so people won't talk. Now, I've made cautious inquiries to see if we can find you a husband. Grusha, I have one. There's a peasant woman on the other side of the mountain, a small farm, and she's willing.
I can't marry. I must wait for Simon Shoshana.
That's all been taken care of. You don't need a man in bed. You need a man on paper. And I found you one. The son of this peasant woman is going to die. Isn't that wonderful? He's at his last gasp, and all in line with our story. A husband from the other side of the mountain. And when you met him, he was at his last gasp. So you're a widow. What do you say?
I could use a document with stamps on it from Michael.
Stamps make all the difference. Without anything in writing, Shaw can prove he's a Shaw. And you'll have a place to go.
How much does the peasant woman want?
400 piastres.
Where will you find it?
Aniko's known plenty.
No one would know us there. I'll do it.
I'll let the peasant woman know.
Michael, you make a lot of work. I came by you as the pear tree comes by sparrows, because a Christian bends down and picks up a crust of bread on the floor so that nothing will go to waste. Michael, it would have been better if I had walked quickly away that Easter Sunday, Nuka, the second courtyard. Now I am a fool.
The bridegroom was on his deathbed when the bride arrived.
The mother-in-law was waiting, telling her to hurry.
The bride brought a child along.
The witness hid it during the wedding.
Quick! Quick! Or he'll die on us before the wedding. I was never told she had a child already.
What's the difference? It can't matter to him in his condition.
To him, but I'll never survive the shame. We are honest people. My Jessup doesn't have to marry a girl with a child.
All right. Make it another 200 piastres. You'll have it in writing, the farm will go to you, but she'll have the right to live here for 2 years.
It'll hardly cover the funeral expenses. I hope she'll really lend a hand with the work. What's happened to the monk? He must have slipped out through the kitchen window. The whole village will be on our necks when they hear Jessup's end has come. Oh dear. I'll go get the monk, but he mustn't see the child.
I'll take care he doesn't, but why only a monk? Why not a priest?
Oh, he's just as good. I only made one mistake. I paid half his fee in advance, enough to send him to the tavern. I only hope.
She saved on the priest, the wretch. Hired a cheap monk.
You will send Simon Shoshana to see me if he turns up after all?
Yes. Won't you take a look at him? He's not moving either. I hope we aren't too late.
I hope you won't mind waiting a few moments. My son's bride has just arrived from the city. An emergency wedding is about to be celebrated. Might have known you couldn't keep your trap shut. The wedding can take place at once. I have the license. Me and the bride's brother are the witnesses.
Are you prepared to be an obedient, loving, and good wife to this man, and to cleave to him until death you do part?
I am.
And are you prepared to be a good and loving husband to your wife until death you do part?
Of course he is. Didn't you hear her say yes?
All right, we declare the marriage contracted. How about some extreme unction?
Nothing doing. The wedding cost quite enough. I must take care of the mourners. Did we say 700?
600. No, I don't want to sit with the guests and get to know people, so farewell, Grusha. And if my widowed sister comes to visit me, she'll get a welcome for my wife, or I'll show my teeth.
may one ask where this child comes from?
Is there a child? I don't see a child, and you don't see one either, understand? Or may turn out I saw all sorts of things in the tavern. Now, come on. This is my daughter-in-law. She arrived just in time to find dear Jessup still alive.
He's been ill almost a year now, hasn't he? He was there to say goodbye when our Vasily was drafted.
Such things are terrible for a farm. The corn all ripe and the farmer in bed? It'll really be a blessing if he doesn't live too much longer, I say.
You know why we thought he'd taken to his bed? Because of the draft. And now look at him, his end has come.
Sit yourselves down and have some cakes.
There's a child, you say? How could that have happened to Jessup?
She was lucky to get herself married with him so sick.
They're gossiping already. And wolfing down funeral cakes at the same time. If he doesn't have today, I'll have to bake some more tomorrow.
I'll bake them for you.
Yesterday, some horsemen rode by and I went outside to see who it was. When I came back in, he was lying there like a corpse. So I sent for you. Can't take too much longer.
Dear wedding and funeral guests, deeply touched, we stand before a bed of death and marriage. The bride gets a veil, the groom a shroud. How varied, my children, are the fates of man, alas. One man dies and has a roof over his head, and the other is married, and the flesh turns to dust from which it was made. Amen.
Have you heard? The Grand Duke is back, but the princes are against him.
They say the Shah of Persia lent him a great army to restore order in Garcinia.
How is that possible? The Shah of Persia is the enemy.
The enemy of the Grand Duke, not the enemy of Garcinia.
In any case, the war's over, so the soldiers will be returning soon.
Are you feeling bad? It's just excitement about dear Jessup. Sit down and rest a while, my dear.
Now everything will return to the way it was, except the taxes will go up, because now we'll have to pay for the war.
Did someone say the soldiers are back?
I did.
Can't be true.
Show her the shawl. We bought it from a soldier. It's from Persia.
They're here.
What's the matter with you? Aren't you going to look after our guests? What all this city nonsense got to do with us?
You can buy Persian saddles from the soldiers too, though many want crutches in exchange for them.
The leaders on one side can win a war. The soldiers on both sides lose it.
Anyway, the war's over. It's something they can't draft you anymore.
All we need now is 2 weeks of good weather.
Our pear trees haven't been bearing a thing all year.
Have some more cakes and welcome. There are more.
How many more cakes are you gonna stuff down their throats? You think I can ship money?
I've got someone at the front.
It's good news that they're on their way home.
Don't stare at me like that. Where's this wife you've saddled me with? A funeral. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Get out before I throw you out! I've upset the apple cart.
Oh, confusion! The wife discovers she has a husband.
By day there's a child, by night a husband.
The lover is on his way both day and night.
Husband and wife look at each other.
The bedroom is small.
That's her job, not yours. Where's she hiding out now?
Grusha, the peasant wants you.
There's still one more hole to mend.
Scrub my back!
Peasant do it himself?
Can't the peasant do it himself? Get the brush, to hell with you! Are you the wife here, or are you a visitor? It's too cold.
I'll run for hot water.
Let me go.
No, you stay here. And scrub harder, no shirking. You've seen a naked fellow before. That child didn't come out of thin air.
The child was not conceived in joy, if that's what the peasant means.
You don't look the type. A fine thing you've saddled me with. A simpleton for a wife.
She just isn't cooperative.
Okay, poor, but go easy, okay? Ow! Go easy, I said! You know, maybe you did something wrong in the city. I shouldn't be surprised. Why else should you be here? But I won't talk about that, nor have I said a word about the illegitimate object you brought into my house. But my patience has limits. It's against nature. More! Besides, even if that soldier of yours does show up, you're married.
Yes.
But don't think that he will. Don't you believe it?
No.
You're cheating me, you know? You're my wife, but you're not my wife. Where you lie, nothing lies. But no other woman can lie there. When I go to work, I'm tired. And when I lie down at night, I'm awake as the devil. God has given you sex, and what to do with it? I don't have 10 piastres to buy a woman in the city. Besides, it's a long way away. And a woman weeds the fields and opens her legs. That's what our calendar says. Do you hear?
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't mean to cheat you out of it.
Just didn't mean to cheat me out of it. Get poor, but go easy.
As she sat by the stream to wash the linen, she saw his image in the water.
His face grew dimmer with the passing moon. As she rose to wring the linen, she heard his voice from the murmuring maple, and his voice grew fainter with the passing moons.
Evasions and sighs grew more numerous. Tears and sweat flowed.
With the passing moons, the child grew up.
Michael, you can play with them, but don't let them tease you just because you're the littlest.
Is that Grusha Bushnadze?
Simon!
A good morning to the young lady. I hope she is well.
A good morning to the soldier. God be thanked he's returned to good health.
They found better fish, so they didn't eat me, said the attic.
Courage, says the kitchen boy. Good luck, says the hero.
How are things here? Was the winter bearable, the neighbor considerate?
The winter was a trifle rough, the neighbor's usual Simon.
May one ask if a certain person still dips her toes in the water when rinsing the linen?
The answer is no, because of the eyes in the bushes.
The young lady speaks of a soldier. Here stands a paymaster.
A job worth 20 piastres.
And lodgings.
Behind the barracks, under the date trees.
Yes, there. So a certain person has kept her eyes open.
She has, Simon.
And has not forgotten. So the door is still on its hinges, as they say? What's this? Is anything not as it should be?
Something has happened, Simon. I can never return to Nuka.
What can have happened?
For one thing, I knocked an iron shirt down.
Grusha Bushnadze must have had a reason for that.
Simon Shashava, I'm no longer called what I used to be called.
I do not understand.
When do women change their names, Simon? Let me explain. Nothing stands between us. Everything is just as it was. You must believe that.
Nothing stands between us, and yet there's something.
How can I explain so quickly? And with the stream between us, can't you cross the bridge there?
Maybe it's no longer necessary.
It is very necessary, Simon. Come over on the side, quick.
Does the young lady wish to say that one has come too late?
So many words are said, so many left unsaid.
Hear what he thought, but did not say.
The battle began at dawn. Gray at dawn, bloody at dawn. The first man fell behind me, the second to my right, the third in front of me. I trod in the first, left the second behind. The third was run through by the captain. One of my brothers died by smoke, the other by steel. My neck caught fire, my fingers froze in my gloves, my toes in my boots. I fed on aspen buds, drank maple juice, slept on stones, in water. I see the captain, the grass. Is there a little one already?
There is Simon. But you needn't worry, it isn't mine.
When the wind starts to blow, as they say, it blows through every crane. The wife need say no more.
There was yearning. There was no waiting. The oath is broken. Neither could say why.
Hear what she thought, but did not say.
While you fought the battle, soldier, the bloody battle, the bitter battle, I found a helpless infant, and I had not the heart to destroy him. I had to care for a creature that was lost. I had to stoop for breadcrumbs on the floor. I had to break myself for that which was not mine, that which was other people's. Someone must help! For the little tree needs water. The lamb loses its way when the shepherd is asleep, and its cries unheard.
Give me back that cross I gave you. No, better yet, throw it in the stream!
Simon Shah, don't go! He isn't mine! He isn't mine!
Grusha!
What's the matter, children?
They're soldiers. There are soldiers that are coming, and they're taking Michael away.
Are you Grusha Bushnadze? Is that your child?
Yes.
We have orders from the city in the name of the law to take this child found in your custody back to the city. It is suspected that he is Michael Abashvili, son and heir of the late Governor Georgi Abashvili and his wife Natala Abashvili. Here's the document and the seal.
Please leave him here! He's mine!
And so the Iron Shirts took the child, the beloved child. The unhappy girl followed them to the city, the dreaded city. She who had borne him demanded the child. She who had raised him faced trial.
Who will decide the case?
To whom will the child be assigned?
Who will the judge be? A good one? A bad?
The city was in flames.
And in the judge's seat sat Azdak.
Hear the story of the judge. How he turned judge, how he passed judgment. What kind of judge he was. On that Easter Sunday of the Great Revolt, when the Grand Duke was overthrown, and his late Governor Georgi Abashvili, father of our child, lost his head.
The village scrivener Azdak found a fugitive in the woods and hid him in his hut. Stop starting, you're not a horse. And it won't do you any good to run from the police like a snotty-nosed and able. Stand still! Sit! Feet, here's the cheese. Haven't eaten in a while, huh? So why were you running like that, asshole? The cop wouldn't even have seen you.
Had to.
Blue funk. Cold feet. Panic. Yeah. Stop licking your chops like a Grand Duke or an Old Sour. I can't stand it. We have to accept respectable stinkers as God made them, but not you. I heard about a senior judge who farted at a public dinner once to show he had an independent spirit. Watching you eat like that gives me those awful ideas. Why don't you say something? Can't you hear? Show me your hands. What? You're not a beggar at all. Yeah, a fraud, a walking swindle. And I was hiding you like you were an honest man. Why are you running from the cops if you're a landowner? If that's what you are. I'd see it in your guilty face. Don't deny it. Get out of here, you peasant flogger.
Pursued. Need undivided attention. Make proposition.
Oh, make what? A proposition. Well, that isn't the height of insolence.
Understand point of view. Persuasion. Pay 100,000 piasters.
You think you can buy me? For 100,000 piasters? Make it 150,000. Where are they?
Have not them here, but will be sent. Hope, do not doubt.
Doubt very much. Get out! Aztec! I'm not in! Shawa, you're sniffing around here again.
You caught another rabbit, Aztec, and you'd swore it wouldn't happen again.
Shawa, don't talk about things you don't understand. The rabbit is a dangerous and destructive beast. It feeds on plants, especially on that species known as weeds. It must, therefore, be destroyed.
Don't be so hard on me, Aztec. I'll lose my job if I don't arrest you. I know you have a good heart.
I do not have a good heart. How many times do I have to tell you? I am a man of intellect.
I know, Aztec. You're a superior person. You say so yourself. I'm just a Christian and an ignoramus, so I'll ask you. When one of the prince's rabbits is stolen, and I'm a policeman, what am I to do with the offending party?
Shawa, shame on you. You stand here and ask me a question in which nothing could be more seductive. I catch a rabbit, you catch a man. God is made, man is made, in God's image. Not so a rabbit, you know that. I am a rabbit eater, but you are a man eater, Shawa. God will pass judgment on you. Go home and repent. Go, no, wait. Go home, repent. Now you're surprised, huh? Surprised I didn't hand you over. I couldn't hand over a bedbug, that animal, as it goes against the grain. Don't tremble because of a cop, so old and still so scared. Finish your cheese. But eat it like a poor man. Well, they might still catch you. They're after you, which speaks in your favor, but how can we be sure they're not mistaken? In Tiflis once, they hanged a landowner, a Turk, who could prove that he quartered his peasants instead of merely cutting them in half, as is the custom, and who squeezed twice the usual amount of taxes out of them. His zeal was above suspicion, and yet they hanged him because he was a Turk, a thing he couldn't do much about. What injustice! He got onto the gallows because of a sheer fluke. In short, I don't trust you.
Thus Aztec gave the old beggar a bed, and found out that the old beggar was in fact the old butcher, the Grand Duke. And he was ashamed. He denounced himself and ordered the police to take him to Nuka to be judged.
I helped the Grand Duke, the Grand Thief, the Grand Butcher to escape. In the name of justice, I ask to be severely judged in a public trial.
Who's this queer bird?
That's our village scrivener, Aztec.
I am contemptible. I am a traitor, a branded criminal. Tell them, Flatfoot, how I insisted on being brought to the capital to clear the whole thing up because I sheltered the Grand Duke by mistake and only found out about it afterwards. See the marked man denounce himself. Tell them how I forced you to walk half the night with me to clear the whole thing up.
And all by threats. That wasn't very nice of you, Aztec.
Shut up, Joel. You don't understand. A new age is upon us. It'll go thundering over you. You're finished. The police will vanish. Poof. Everything will be gone into, everything will be brought out into the open. The guilty will give themselves up. Why? Because they couldn't escape the people in any case. Tell them how I shouted all along Shoemaker Street. In my ignorance, I let the Grand Duke escape, so tear me to pieces, brothers! I wanted to get it in first.
And what did your brothers answer?
They comforted him in Butcher Street and laughed themselves sick in Shoemaker Street. That's all.
Yeah, but you're different. I can see you're men of iron. Brothers, where is the judge? I must be tried.
There's the judge, hanging by his neck. And please stop brothering us. It's rather a sore spot this evening.
There's the judge. Our answer never heard in Grusinia before. Brothers, where's His Excellency the Governor? There. There's His Excellency, stranger. Where is the Chief Tax Collector? Where's the Chief Recruiting Officer? The Patriarch? Chief of Police? There! All there! Brothers, I expected nothing less from you.
What? What was it you expected from us, funny man?
What happened in Persia? What happened in Persia?
What did happen in Persia?
Everybody was hanged. Viziers, tax collectors, everybody. 40 years ago, now my grandfather, a remarkable man by the way, saw it all for 3 whole days, everywhere.
And who ruled when the vizier was hanged?
A peasant ruled when the vizier was hanged.
And who commanded the army?
A soldier.
And who paid the wages?
A dyer. A dyer paid the wages.
Wasn't it a weaver, maybe?
And why did all this happen, Persian?
Why did all this happen? There must be a special reason. Why do you scratch yourself, brother? War! Too long a war! And no justice.
Do you notice the sky is getting red? It's the people's quarters on the outskirts of town. The carpet weavers have caught the Persian sickness too, and they've been asking if Prince Kazbeki isn't eating too many courses. This morning they strung up the city judge. As for us, we beat them to a pulp. We were paid 100 piastres per man, you understand?
I understand.
If there ever was a troublemaker, it's him.
He must have come to the capital to fish in the troubled waters.
Well, I don't think he's a really bad character, gentlemen. Steals a few chickens here and there, and maybe a rabbit.
Came to the capital to fish in the troubled waters, huh?
I don't know why I came.
And this denouncing of yourself? Because you didn't hang the Grand Duke with your own hands.
Didn't I tell you I let him run?
I can swear to that. You let him run.
There's your new age for you.
I don't see what's there to laugh about, my friends. Permit me a serious word. Yesterday morning, the princes of Grusinia overthrew the warmongering government of the Grand Duke and did away with his governors. In this fateful hour, the carpet weavers, those eternal troublemakers, had the effrontery to stir up a rebellion and hang the universally loved city judge, dear Ilo Orbeliani. Oh, my friends, we must have peace, peace, peace in Grusinia. So I've brought along my dear nephew, Bizergan Kazbeki, a very gifted fellow. He'll be your new judge, I want your opinion. Let the people decide.
Does this mean we elect the judge?
Precisely. You find yourself some very gifted fellow. Confer among yourselves. Not to worry, my little fox, the job's yours. And once we find the Grand Duke, we won't have to kiss this rebel's ass any longer.
Very funny. They're wetting their pants because they haven't caught the Grand Duke.
When the outlook isn't so bright, they say, my friends, and let the people decide.
Well, fun's fun as long as it lasts. He knows all about justice. Hey, Rascal. How would you like to see this nephew fellow be judged?
Are you asking me? You're not asking me.
Why not? Anything for a laugh.
So you want to test him to the mirror, correct? Have you a criminal on hand, an experienced one, so the candidate can show what he knows?
Let's see. We do have a couple of doctors downstairs. Let's use them.
No, that's no. We can't take real criminals until we're sure the judge will be appointed. He may be dumb, but he must be appointed, or else the law is violated. And the law is a sensitive organ. It's like the spleen. You mustn't hit it. That would be fatal. Of course, you can hang those two without violating the law as long as the judge isn't in the vicinity. But it's all very complicated. It's such nonsense. Suppose, for instance, a judge jails a woman. Let's say she's stolen a corn cake to feed her child, and the judge isn't wearing his robe. Or maybe he's scratching himself, and half his body is uncovered. Man's side village once in a while. The sentence this judge passes is a disgrace, and the law is violated. In short, it would be easier for a judge's robe and a judge's hat to pass judgment than for a man with no robe and no hat. If you don't treat the law with respect, it disappears on you. You don't try out a bottle of wine by giving it to a dog. You just lose your wine.
Then what do you suggest, Hair Splitter?
I'll be the defendant.
You?
Well, my friends, what have you decided?
We've decided to stage a rehearsal. Our friend here will be the defendant. Let the candidate sit there and be the judge.
Well, it isn't customary, but why not? A mere formality, my little fox. What have I always taught you? Who got there first? The slow runner or the fast runner?
The silent runner, Uncle Arson.
And Grand Duke is any here who knows me?
Who is he?
The Grand Duke. He knows him too.
Okay, let's get on with it.
An accused instigating war. Ridiculous. I'm saying ridiculous. That enough? If not, have brought lawyers. Believe 500. Requisition all available seats for lawyers.
Are you sure you wish me to try this case? I find it rather unusual. From the taste angle, I mean.
Let's go.
Have at it, my little fox.
All right. People of Grusinia versus Grand Duke. Defendant, what have you got to say for yourself?
Plenty! Naturally have read War Lost. Only started war on advice of patriots. Patriots like Uncle Arson Kazeki. Call Uncle Arson as witness.
What a madcap.
Motion rejected. One cannot be arraigned for declaring a war, which every ruler has to do once in a while, but only for running a war badly.
Rubbish! Did not run war at all, had it run. By princes. Naturally, they messed him up.
Do you by any chance deny having been commander-in-chief?
Not at all. Always was commander-in-chief. At birth! Shouted at wet nurse. Was trained to drop turds in toilet. All grew accustomed to command. Command officers, flog soldiers, officials always rob cash box on my command. Landowners only sleep with peasants' wives on strictest command. Uncle Arson here grew out his belly on my command.
Long live the Grand Duke!
Answer him, my little fox. I'm with you.
I shall answer him according to the dignity of the law. Defendant, preserve the dignity of the law.
Agreed. Commend you proceed with trial.
It is not your place to command me. You claim that the princes forced you to declare war. How can you claim then that they messed it up?
Did not send enough people, embezzled funds, sent sick horses during attack, drinking in a whorehouse.
Are you making the outrageous suggestion that the princes of this country did not fight?
No. Princes fought for war contracts.
That's too much. This man talks like a carpet weaver.
Really said nothing but truth.
Hang him! Hang him!
Keep quiet. Go on, Excellency.
Quiet. I will now render a verdict. You must be hanged by the neck, having lost war.
young man. Seriously advised not fall publicly into jerky clipped speech. Cannot be watchdog if howl like wolf. Got it? If people realize princes speak same language as Grand Duke, may hang Grand Duke and princes. By the way, must overrule verdict. Reason? War lost, but not for princes. Princes won their war, got 3,863,000 piastres for horses not delivered, got 8,246,000 piastres for supplies not produced, are therefore victors. War lost for Grusinia, who is not in this court.
That's enough, my friends. You may withdraw, funny man. You may now ratify the appointment of the new judge.
Yes, we can. Now you run away so the right ass can get in the right seat. You step forward, go to the judge's seat. Now sit in it. The judge was always a rascal. Now the rascal shall be judge. What a judge.
There was civil war in the land. The mighty were not safe.
And Azdak was made a judge by the Iron Shirts.
And Azdak remained a judge for 2 years.
The towns were set afire. Rivers of blood rose higher and higher. Cockroaches crawled out of every crack.
And the court was full of schemers, and the church of foul blasphemers.
In the judge's cassock sat Azdak. In consideration of the large number of cases today, the court will hear 2 cases at a time. Before I open the proceedings, a short announcement I accept. I reserve the right to punish one of the parties for contempt of court. You are a doctor, and you are bringing a complaint against him. Is the doctor responsible for your condition?
Yes, I had a stroke on his account.
That would be professional negligence.
Worse than negligence. I paid for this man's studies. So far he hasn't paid me back a cent. It was when I heard he was treating a patient free that I had my stroke.
Rightly. And what are you doing here?
I'm the patient, Your Honor.
He treated you for nothing.
The wrong leg. My rheumatism is in the left leg. He operated on the right. That's why I limp.
He treated your leg for free.
A 500 piastre operation free. For nothing. For a God bless you. And I paid for this man's studies. Did they teach you to operate free? Your Honor,
it is the custom to demand a fee before the operation, as the patient is more willing to pay before an operation than after, which is only human. In the case in question, I was convinced that my servant had received the fee. In this I was mistaken.
He was mistaken. A good doctor doesn't make mistakes. He examines before he operates.
True. Public prosecutor, what's the other case about?
Blackmail.
High Court of Justice, I'm innocent. I only wanted to find out from the landowner concerned if he really had raped his niece. He informed me very politely this was not the case. He gave me the money only so I could pay for my uncle's studies.
And you, on the other hand, can cite no extenuating circumstances for your offense.
Except that to err is human.
And in money matters, a responsible doctor is, or a good doctor is a highly responsible person. I once heard about a doctor who made, who got 1,000 piastres off of a sprained finger by remarking that his sprains have something to do with circulation. And who on another occasion made a real gold mine out of a somewhat disordered gallbladder. Such was his loving care. You have no excuse. The corn merchant Uxu sent his son to study medicine to gain some knowledge of the profession. Our medical schools are so good. What's the name of the landowner?
He doesn't want to mention.
No. Well, in that case, I will pass judgment. The court considers the blackmail proved. You are fined 1,000 piastres. If you have a second stroke, the doctor will have to treat you free, even if he has to amputate. In compensation, you are granted a bottle of rubbing alcohol. You are sentenced to hand over half the proceeds of your deal to the public prosecutor to keep the deal, the landowner's name private. Moreover, you are recommended to study medicine. You seem well suited to that trade. Doctor, You have perpetrated an unpardonable error in the practice of your profession. You are acquitted. Next cases.
Men won't do much for a shilling.
For a pound, they may be willing.
For 20 pounds, the verdict's in the sack.
As for the many, far too many. For those who've only got a penny,
They've won a single silver course.
Aztec. And he gave to the forsaken all that from the rich he'd taken.
All mankind should love each other, but when visiting your brother, take an axe along and hold it fast.
not in theory, but in practice.
Miracles are wrought with axes.
And the age of miracles is not past.
The public prosecutor has the floor.
It concerns a cow. For 5 weeks, the defendant has had a cow in her stable, the property of the farmer sued. She was also found to be in possession of a stolen ham, and a number of cows were killed after Shutoff asked the defendant to pay the rent on a piece of land.
It's a matter of my ham, Your Honor.
It's a matter of my cow, Your Honor.
It's a matter of my land, Your Honor.
What have you got to say about all this, Granny?
Your Honor, one morning, 5 weeks ago, there was a knock at my door. When I opened it, there was a bearded man standing there with a cow. "My good woman," he said, "I am the miracle-working Saint Beneditus. And because your son was killed in the war, I have brought you a souvenir. Take this cow and look after it."
Robber Rackley, Your Honor. Her brother-in-law, Your Honor.
The cow thief?
He must be beheaded.
A very good evening, friends. A glass of vodka?
A glass of vodka for the guest, public prosecutor. And who are you?
A wandering hermit, Your Honor. My thanks for the gracious gift.
The court welcomes the foreign hermit. I am Azdak. You may continue, Granny.
Your Honor, that first night I didn't know that Saint Beneditus was a miracle worker, only the cow. A few nights later, the farmer's servants came back to take my cow. They turned around in front of my house and went away, and bumps as large as fists sprouted from their heads, and I knew that Saint Beneditus had changed their hearts and turned them into friendly people.
I know what changed them.
That's fine. You can tell us later. Continue, Granny.
The next person to have a change of heart was the farmer Shutoff, Your Honor. A very devil, as everyone knows. Saint Beneditus arranged it so that he let me off the rent on a little piece of land.
Because my cows were killed in the field.
The ham, Your Honor, one morning came flying in through my window and hit me in the small of the back. I'm still lame. Your Honor, I ask you, in this day and age, when can a poor old woman get a ham without a miracle?
That is a question that strikes straight at the court's heart. Granny, would you be so kind as to sit here? Granny, we might as well call you Granny Caucasian, the woebegone, the bereaved mother, whose sons have gone to war. Receiving the present of a cow, she bursts out weeping. When she is beaten, she is hopeful. When she is not, she is surprised. On us, who are already damned, may you render a merciful verdict. Farmers, you atheists! Admit that you don't believe in miracles. Each of you is fined 500 piastres for godlessness.
And he broke the rules to save them.
Broken law like bread he gave them, brought them to shore upon his crooked back.
At long last, the poor and lowly had someone who was not too holy to be bribed by empty hands.
Aztec. For 2 years it was his pleasure to give the beasts of prey short measure.
He became a wolf to fight the pack.
From All Hallows to All Hallows, on his seat beside the gallows, dispensing justice at his leisure, sat Aztec.
But the era of disorder came to an end.
The Grand Duke returned.
The governor's wife returned.
A trial was held.
Many died.
The people's quarters burned anew.
And fear seized Aztec. Shawa, the days of your slavery are numbered, maybe even the minutes. For a long time now, I've held you in the iron curb of reason, and it's torn your mouth till it bleeds. I've lashed you with reasonable arguments. I've manhandled you with logic. But now the Grand Duke has returned, and the Persians have lent him an army to restore order with. The people's quarters are already burning.
Someone's coming.
It's the end. They enjoy seeing what a great man I am. I will deprive them of that pleasure. I will beg on my knees, slaughter will spittle down my chin. and the fear of death is in me.
What sort of creature is that child?
An obedient one, Your Highness, at your service.
Natella Abashwili, wife of the late governor, has returned. She is looking for her 2-year-old son, Michael. She has been told that the child was carried off to the mountains by a former servant.
He shall be recovered, Your Highness, at your service.
They say the person in question is passing it off as her own.
She shall be beheaded, Your Highness, at your service.
That is all.
Don't like this man.
It shall all be arranged, Your Highness, at your service.
Hear the story of the child, concerning Governor Abashwili's child and the determination of the true mother by the famous test of the chalk circle.
He's brave. He can wash himself now.
You're lucky, it's not a real judge, it's Azdak, a drunk who doesn't know what he's doing. The biggest thieves have got by through him. Because he gets mixed up and the rich never offer him big enough bribes, the likes of us sometimes do pretty well.
Need luck right now.
Touch wood. I better offer up another prayer that the judge may be drunk. Why must you hold on to him in any price, in days like these? If it isn't yours,
He's mine. I brought him up.
you ever thought what would happen when she came back?
At first, I thought I'd give him to her. Then I thought she wouldn't come back.
And even a borrowed coat keeps a man warm. I'll swear to anything for you. You're a decent girl. I've been talking to Simon, though. You've done wrong by him. You just can't understand.
Right now, I can't be bothered whether he understands or not.
He knows the child isn't yours, but you married and not free till death you do part. He can't understand that.
I wish the young lady to know I will swear I'm the father of her child.
Thank you, Simon.
At the same time, I wish the lady to know my hands are not tied, nor are hers.
You needn't have said that. You know she's married.
If it needs no rubbing in.
Where's the judge? Has anyone seen the judge?
I hope nothing has happened to him. With any other judge, we'd have as much chance as a chicken has teeth.
At least there are no common people here. Can't stand their smell. It always gives me a migraine.
Please, madam, I must ask you to be careful what you say until we have another judge.
Dear Ilo Shibaladze, I didn't say a thing. I love the people with their simple and straightforward ways. It's only their smell that I cannot stand.
There won't be many spectators. The entire population is at home behind locked doors because of the riots in the people's quarters.
Is that the creature?
Please, most gracious Natella Abashwili, abstain from invective until we are certain that the Grand Duke has appointed another judge, and we are rid of the present one, which is about the lowest fellow ever seen in judge's gown. Things are all set to move, you see.
Her Grace would pull your hair out on the spot if she didn't know Azdak for the poor. He goes by chance.
I dislike that man from the moment I laid eyes on him.
She clapped her hands. I hope he saw it.
Trying to run away, were you?
Off with this judge's gown before we string him up.
Yeah.
You dogs! How goes it, dogs? How's the dog world? Does it smell good? Got another poop for me to lick? Back at each other's throats again, huh, dogs?
Stop! I bring a dispatch from the Grand Duke containing the latest appointments. Of the new judge, it says, we have this man to thank for saving a life indispensable to the country's welfare. A certain Azdak of Nuka, which is he?
That's him, Your Excellency.
What's going on here?
We beg leave to report that His Honor Azdak was already His Honor Azdak, but upon the denunciation of these farmers was named an enemy of the Grand Duke.
What does your honor desire?
Nothing, fellow dog. Just an occasional poop for me to lick. I pardon you. Get me some red wine, the sweet kind. Get out of here. I've got a case to judge. That's my case alarm. Thank you for setting that, guys. I accept. It's actually in the script.
What a ridiculous case, Your Honor!
The accused has abducted a child and refuses to hand it over.
A most attractive person. I declare the proceedings open and demand to hear the whole truth, especially from you.
High Court of Justice! Blood, as popular saying goes, is thicker than water. This old adage...
The court wants to know the lawyer's fee.
I beg your pardon. Oh, I see. 500 piastres, Your Honor, to answer the court's somewhat unusual question.
Did you hear? The question was unusual. I only ask because I listen quite differently when I know you're good.
Thank you, Your Honor. High Court of Justice. Of all ties, the ties of blood are the strongest. Mother and child, is there a more intimate relationship? Can one tear a child from its mother? High Court of Justice, she has conceived it in holy ecstasies of love. She has borne in her womb. She has fed it with her blood. She has borne it with pain. High Court of Justice, it has been observed that a tigress robbed of her young roams the mountains, shrunk to a shadow. Nature herself...
What do you have to say to all this? Anything else the lawyer might say?
He's mine.
Is that all? Well, I hope you can prove it. Why should I sign the child to you in any case?
I brought him up like the priest says, according to my best knowledge and conscience. I always found him something to eat. Most of the time he had a roof over his head. And I went to such trouble for him. I had expenses too. I didn't look out for my own comfort. I brought him up to be friendly with everyone, and from the beginning taught him to work. As well as he could, that is. He's still very little.
Your Honor, it is significant that the girl herself doesn't claim any ties of blood between her and the child.
The court takes note of that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, let a woman, bowed in sorrow, who has already lost a husband and now has to fear the loss of a child, to address a few words to you. Nutella, Abashvili
Those
is...
cruel fate, sir, forces me to tell you the tortures of a bereaved mother's soul, the anxieties, the sleepless nights, It is outrageous the way this woman is being treated. Her husband's palace is closed to her, the revenue of her estates is blocked, and she is cold-bloodedly told that it's tied to the heir. She can't do a thing without this child. She can't even pay her lawyers. Dear Eva Shugulazzi, surely it can be divulged now that the Abashvili estates are at stake.
Honored Sandro Ovalazzi, we agreed. Of course, it is true that the trial will also decide whether our noble client can take over the Abashvili estates, which are rather extensive. I say also, advisedly, for the foreground stands the human tragedy of a mother, as Nutella Abashvili so properly explained in her moving statement. Even if Michael Abashvili were not the heir to the Abashvili estates, he would still be the dearly beloved son of my client.
Stop. The court is touched by the mention of estates. It is proof of human feeling.
Thanks, Your Honor. Dear Elo Shugulazzi, in any case, we can prove that the woman who took the child is not the child's mother. Permit me to lay before the court the bare facts. High Court of Justice, due to an unfortunate chain of circumstances, Michael Abashvili was left behind that Easter Sunday while his mother was making her escape. Grusha, a palace kitchen maid,
her mistress was
seen
thinking
with
of
the
what
baby.
dresses she
Nearly
went
a year
along.
later, she turned up in a mountain village with the child, and there entered into a state of
How did you
matrimony.
get to the mountain village?
On foot, Your Honor. And it was mine.
I'm the father, Your Honor.
I used to look after it for them, Your Honor, for 5 piastres.
Your Honor, this man is engaged to the defendant. His testimony is suspect.
Are you the man she married in the mountain village?
No, Your Honor, she married a peasant.
Why? Was he no good in bed? Tell the truth.
We didn't get that far, Your Honor. I married because of the baby, so he'd have a roof over his head. He was in the war, Your Honor.
And now he wants you back again, huh?
I was just taking.
I am no longer free, Your Honor.
The child you claim comes from whoring, correct? I'm going to ask you a question. What kind of child is he? A ragged little bastard or from a good
He's
family?
an ordinary child.
I mean, did he have refined features from the beginning?
He had a nose on his face.
A very significant comment. It's been said of me that I went out once to sniff a rosebush before rendering a verdict. Tricks like these are needed nowadays. Well, I'll make this short. Not listen to any more lies, especially not yours. I can imagine what you've cooked up to cheat me. I know you people, you're swindlers.
I can understand you wanting to cut it short. Now I've seen what you accepted.
Shut up, I didn't accept anything from you.
I haven't got anything.
Exactly, from starvelings, I never get a thing. I might as well starve myself. You say you want justice, but do you want to pay for it? Huh? When you go to a butcher, you know you have to pay. But you go to a judge like you're off to a funeral supper.
Fine kind of justice. You play fast and loose with us because we don't talk as refined as that crowd with their lawyers.
It's true. You people are too dumb. It's only right you get it in the neck.
You want to hand him over to her and she wouldn't even know how to keep him dry. She's so refined. You know about as much about justice as I do.
There's something to that. I'm an ignorant man. Haven't even got a decent pair of pants on under this gown. With me, everything goes to food and drink. I was raised in convent. Incidentally, I'll fine you 10 piastres for contempt of court, and you're a very silly girl to turn me against you, and not instead of making eyes at me or wiggling your backside a little to keep me in a good temper. And 20 piastres.
Even if it was 30, I'd tell you what I think of your justice, you drunken onion. How dare you talk to me like the cracked Isaiah on the church window? As if you were somebody. For you weren't born to this. You weren't born to wrap your own mother on the knuckles if she swipes a little bowl of salt someplace. Aren't you ashamed of yourself when you see how I tremble before you? You've made yourself their servant, so no one will take their houses from them, houses they had stolen, since when have houses belonged to the bedbugs? But you're on the watch, or no one could drag our men into their whores. You bribe taker? I have no respect for you, no more than for a thief or a bandit with a knife. You can do what you want. You can take the child away from me 100 against 1, but I'll tell you one thing. Only extortioners should be chosen for a profession like yours as punishment. Yes, let them sit in judgment on their fellow creatures. It's worse than to hang from the gallows.
Now it'll be 30. And I'll not go on squabbling with you. We're not in a tavern. What happened to my dignity as judge? Anyways, I've grown tired of this case. Charlotte, where's the couple who wanted a divorce? Bring him in. This case is adjourned for 15 minutes.
Even without using the rest of the evidence, madam, the verdict is in the bag.
You've gone and spoiled your chances. You won't get the child now.
Shovel my smelling salts.
I accept. So I hear you want to be divorced. How long have you two been married?
40 years, Your Honor.
And why do you want a divorce?
We don't like each other, Your Honor.
Since when?
Oh, from the very beginning.
Well, I will think about your request and render a verdict when I'm through with the other case. I need the child. I notice you have a soft spot for justice. I don't believe the child's yours, but if he were yours, wouldn't you want him to be rich? You'd only have to say he wasn't yours, and he'd have a palace, and horses in his stable, and many beggars in his doorstep, and petitioners in his courtyard. So what do you say? What, don't you want him to be rich?
Hear now what the angry girl thought, but did not say.
Had he golden shoes to wear, he'd be cruel. Evil would his life disgrace. He'd laugh at me.
I think I understand you, woman.
I won't give him up. I've raised him and he knows me.
He's in rags.
It's not true, but I wasn't given time to put his good shirt on.
You must have been raised in a pigsty.
I'm not a pig, but there are some who are. Where did you leave your child?
I'll show you, you vulgar creature!
Tell Alice that you promised.
She's a criminal. She must be whipped immediately.
Your Honor, the plaintiff.
Plaintiff and defendant. The court has listened to your case and has come to no determination as to the true mother of the child. Therefore, I, the judge, am obliged to choose a mother. I'll make a test. Shawa, take a piece of chalk and draw a circle on the floor. Place the child in the center. Stand near the circle, both of you. Now each of you take one of the child's hands. The true mother is she who can pull the child from the circle.
The fate of the great Abashwili estates, which are tied to the child as the heir, should not be made dependent on such a doubtful duel. In addition, the client does not command the strength of this woman, who is accustomed to physical labor.
She looks pretty well fed to me. Pull! What's the matter? You didn't pull.
I didn't hold on to him.
What did I say? The ties of blood.
Your Honor, I take it all back. I ask for your forgiveness, but could I keep him until I can speak all the words?
Don't try to influence the court. I bet you only know about 20 words yourself. Okay, I'll make the test again, just to be certain. Pull.
I brought him up! Shall I also tear him to bits? I can't!
And in this way, the court has determined the true mother of the child. Take your child and go. I advise you not to stay in the city with him. And you disappear before I fine you for fraud. Your estates fall to the city. They shall be converted into a playground for children. They need it, and I've decided it'll be called after me. Azdak's Garden. Now, take off this judge's gown. It's got too hot for me. I'm not cut out for the hero. In a token of farewell, I invite all of you to a little dance in the meadow outside. In my excitement, I almost forgot to sign the divorce decree.
But that's not right. You've not divorced the old people, you've divorced Grusha.
Divorced the wrong couple? What a pity! And I never retract it. If I did, how could I keep order? I'll invite you two to the party. You two don't mind dancing with each other, do you? I have 40 piastres coming from you.
Cheap with the price, Your Honor, and my thanks.
I'll believe that.
So, we better leave the city tonight, Michael. You like him?
With my respects, I like him well.
Now I can tell you. I took him because on that Easter Sunday I got engaged to you. So, he is a child of love. Michael, let's dance.
After that evening, Azdak vanished and was never seen from again.
The people of Grusinia did not forget him, but long remembered his period of judging as a brief golden age, almost an age of justice.
But you who have listened to the story of the chalk circle, take note what men of old concluded, that what there is shall go to those who are good for it. Children to the motherly, that they prosper. Carts to good drivers, that they be driven well. The valley to the waterers, that it yield fruit.